Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Ms. Fuji, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. On behalf of Germanna Community College, our college board, faculty, staff, and administration, welcome to the 2015 Spring Allied Health Technologies pinning ceremony. This time I would like to introduce the members of the stage party. Please stand and remain standing, and please hold your applause until all are standing. Dr. Ann Wolford, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Student Services. Dr. Patty Lisk, Dean of Nursing. Michelle Dameron, Dental Hygiene student and the speaker for today. Mrs. E. Lindsay Johnson, Keynote speaker. Thank you. In the audience, right here, we have from the Germanna Community College Board, the chair representing Stafford County, Ms. Kathy Washington, Ms. Angela Green, representing Spotsylvania County, Mr. William Thomas, representing Culpeper County, and from the Germanna Community College Educational Foundation Board, Mr. Russell James, President, and Mr. Hap Connors. Congratulations to all of you who are here today wearing white. I know today, when you go back to work, most of you will shift to different colors. My mother, who was an RN to the end of her career, always wore her cap and white. She was old school. But the white that you wear today is something you'll carry with you always, because it stands for the nobleness of the careers that you have chosen. So I charge you, especially when you are busy filling prescriptions and there's a line, or when a parent is bothering you while you're helping the child with their teeth, or you've worked a long shift and somewhere between the doctors and the administrators and the families, you're on your last nerve. I charge all of you to remember that we have prepared you as well as we can for those careers. But what you must do beyond being good professionals, wherever you work, whatever business or institution, despite how you feel, you must humanize those organizations for the people that you serve, because institutions are not always as friendly to their customers or their patients, and it's your job to be the human face and the human heart, as well as a competent professional. So again, on behalf of Germanna Community College, congratulations to all of you. At this point, I turn the ceremony over to Dean Patty Lisk.
Wow, good afternoon. It's great to see you all here. Good afternoon, Dr. Sam, Dr. Wolford, Ms. Johnson, college board members, advisory board members, faculty, friends, and especially graduates. It is my distinct honor and privilege to be with you here today to celebrate your accomplishments. Graduates, your dedication and your hard work have brought you to this day. It seems like only a few short months ago that I spoke to you in class about your dreams for graduation, and here this afternoon your dreams are being realized. I, along with the faculty at Germanna, congratulate you on your accomplishments, and we wish you every success in your professional endeavors. I applaud you on the completion on this, the first step of your professional journey. Family, friends, and loved ones, we know that you too are so excited to celebrate with your graduates. We want you to have every opportunity to capture the special memories of the ceremonial rite of passage. Please, if you decide to slip up to the front to take a photograph of your graduate, be cognizant of your surroundings and those around you, as you would not want to block their view of this exciting moment. At this point, we'll continue with our ceremony, where it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Lindsay Johnson. Ms. Johnson was born and raised in Fauquier County. She's currently employed in the same hospital that she was served as a volunteer candy striper when she was younger. In fact, she had her whole life in healthcare. She first worked as a CNA, then she worked as an LPN. She received her practical nursing certificate from our neighbor, Lord Fairfax Community College, and then became an RN, completing the LPN to RN program at Germanna Community College in December of 2004. Since that time, she's continued her education, completing the RN to BSN program at the University of Virginia. She's currently pursuing her master's in nursing from the University of Virginia with a specialization in adult gerontology as an acute care nurse practitioner. She's a member of Sigma Theta Tau, the International Nursing Honor Society. While professionally, she has worked in a variety of settings to include interventional radiology, ICU, ER, cardiac telemetry. Her passion is for the care of the geriatric population. For the last 4 years, she has spent time working in skilled nursing care, in long-term care, and in hospice settings. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Ms. Johnson.
Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank Dr. David Sam, Dr. Ann Wolford, and Dr. Patty Lisk for the opportunity to address the Nursing and Health Technologies graduating class of 2015. It is an honor and with great pride that I join you today. As a graduate of Germanna Community College, a lifetime resident and nurse in this region, I have always been and continue to be impressed by the quality of nurses and other allied health professionals that Germanna prepares to send out into their desired professions within our community. I feel it is a great testament to the quality and level of education you have received in the recent months to years. In addition to spending this time to recognize you for your accomplishments, I wish for the class of 2015 to stand and applaud your instructors for a job well done. As I prepared today's words to enlighten you on what to expect in your various professional medical futures, I wanted to be sure to incorporate each and one of you. Registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, certified nursing assistants, dental hygienists, and pharmacy technicians. I mean, it shouldn't be hard, right? I've already been a CNA, an LPN, and an RN in my career, and I've cleaned more teeth and mixed more antibiotics in normal saline than I care to count. However, finding the right words to let you know just how important you are to the field of medicine is more difficult than I thought. For all of you nursing students, I'm currently experiencing tachycardia, tachypnea, and I'm diaphoretic. For the rest of you, I will translate. I'm breathing fast, my heart is racing, and I'm beginning to sweat. Thankfully, you're all educated enough to save me, right? Okay. I mean, you have to be. I thought back to my recent and my not so recent nursing school experiences and education. I realized that my experiences and my education were not the only influence on my profession, nor did it decide the type of nurse I was, or nor will it type of medical professional you will be. More than your experiences and education alone are your characteristics. We, as health professionals, are a group of men and women who epitomize the values of perseverance, generosity, humor, dedication, and the big one, compassion. We all strive to be compassionate at all times while working in healthcare. While in our society, other professions are fighting legislation allowing them to refuse service to others and retaliating against violence with violence, healthcare workers remain the same. We care for you regardless of who you are, where you're from, or your personal values. Why? Because we are compassionate. Never lose your compassion. All of these qualities are embedded in each of you who have chosen to work in healthcare. But in order to work in healthcare, you must have survived the education. So I invite you all down memory lane to reflect on your first as I reflected on my own. Think back to when you began your respected programs and arrived at your orientation. I'm sure an instructor began with something along these lines. These next few months or years will be some of the most difficult times of your life, but it will also be one of the most rewarding, which eventually translated into no pain, no gain. You will never see the people you call your family again. Fear me, I grade your care plans. It is the right answer, but not the most right answer. I do honestly remember Dr. Patty Lisk saying something along those lines, well, not the translations, over 15 years ago in one of my very first nursing classes. Her love of nursing came through in every word she said. She did not realize at the time how instrumental she was to my drive and success in nursing, but her strength, perseverance, and love of nursing was evident in everything she did. I knew that nursing would be as rewarding as they all said, but what did that really mean? What did reward feel like? I remember feeling privileged and terrified all at once. And I just remember as I was feeling through a fall of endless steps, but to a heart of a beat. Lub-dub, first degree, second degree, winky-bach. Wait, winky what? What was she talking about? And then as a class, we, just like you all, eager and unknowing, we embarked on a series of firsts that would help us to understand our instructor's words. Some first occurred and we moved forward without thinking of their consequence on our future. Like your first simulation lab. Is that a prop or is that really a clamp on the Foley? Maybe we should just pull it out. Is that a pleural friction rub or is that Sim Man's rubber chest scratching on his robotic lung against his mechanical heart? I will assume it's the same for the dental hygienist at their first deep cleaning. Is that a gum flap or an old piece of steak? And pharmacy technicians with your first compound, I'm sure you wondered at least once, was it supposed to bubble when I mixed it? We all remember our first anatomy and physiology exam. I remember you can never be too specific in Dr. Mergenthal's class. And when in doubt, choose the longest, most detailed answer. Thankfully for me, B's and C's get degrees. Your first time taking a manual blood pressure and you can't get it, so an instructor says to you, try putting a cuff around the neck. You'll get a really great pulse from the carotids. And you actually have to think about it before you realize that's probably not a good idea. Your first clinical rotation, that at least for nurses should be named after a well-known big box retailer. Bed Bath and Beyond. As technically the nurse actually assigned to the patient on the floor is only going to let you do that. Your first patient, your first independent assessment, that you realize in the end you visualize more of their body than you have of your own. Your first successful IV, your first bite wings, your first mixing compound. your first trach and ventilated patient that you talked to your entire shift, because even though they never responded, you knew they heard you. Your first IV or IV med setup, the first time you administered a suppository, but due to a change in gravity, you're not quite sure where it goes. You will never forget your first stage 4 wound dressing, complete with tunneling, fistulas, and a malfunctioning wound vac. And for our dental graduates, your first molar abscess with Ludwig's angina. You won't forget your first whiff of C. diff or fluid from the aforementioned abscess. And you won't forget the first that touched your soul. You won't forget the first time you taught a new mother how to breastfeed her child, even if you never work another day in L&D. The first time you assert yourself to interrupt a doctor, dentist, or pharmacist for the safety of your patient. If you have not done this yet, you will, and your patient is counting on you to do so. And your first death, where you are forced to realize that all patients are mortal, and so are we. And while we are quite skilled to improve upon the quality of life and to save lives, our humanity still limits and humbles us. These were your first steps, and you have come a long way. Your first steps felt scary, a little unsteady, and now all those firsts are merely second nature to your professional practice. However, in the ever-changing world of healthcare, firsts will take place throughout your career. You will inevitably arrive at your first job, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to work. You'll be so organized and make a checklist for the day, but nothing will go as planned. And you wonder, how did my day go wrong? I had it all planned out. And as you question your decision on your career and you're on the verge of tears, a young mother with terminal cancer will say in a gentle and weak voice, "Thank you for your care today." And you realize you truly are a caregiver, not because you made a difference in her life that day, but because her genuine, heartfelt thanks made a difference in yours. I suggest as you embark on your new set of firsts that you remember that first time you embraced your vulnerability. Never be afraid to admit what you do not know, and seek out the answers to improve upon your knowledge. Many of you took a challenge over 2 years ago that took a great deal of determination, persistence, initiative, creativity, and sometimes even sweat and tears. Even if the sweat and tears were from holding your urine for greater than 12 hours, they were still sweat and tears. Embrace that vulnerability. There will always be that unknowing. No matter how well you plan your shift or how well you do your jobs, the unknown will always exist. And that is the perfect time to learn more than you ever imagined. Challenge yourself to stay involved with a certifying or professional organization. Make an effort to continue your education through specialty certifications, advanced degrees, or completion of continuing education credits. Never stop learning. Stay engaged in your profession and do not allow it to become your job, but always remain your chosen career. Lastly, and most importantly, if you remember nothing else, remember your most important patient, you. Take care of yourselves. Self-care is a priority and a necessity when working in healthcare. Self-care is not selfish. You cannot serve others from an empty vessel. It is difficult to care for others when you have forgotten how to take care of yourself. It is the most important thing I have to remind myself in working in healthcare. So as I leave you, I'm going to leave you with 12 steps that I ran across on the Happiness Institute website several years ago and feel they are rules to live by in a healthcare field. If it feels wrong, don't do it. Say exactly what you mean. Don't be a people pleaser. Trust your instincts. Never speak bad about yourself. Never give up on your dreams. Don't be afraid to say no, but don't be afraid to say yes. Be kind to yourself. Let go of what you cannot control. Stay away from drama and negativity. And lastly, and most importantly, love. Love your family, love your friends, love your career, but most importantly, love yourself. You deserve it. Congratulations.
On behalf of the Germanna Community College faculty and staff, we'd like to present this to you so you can remember all about us forever and ever.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was lovely. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Michelle Dameron. Most of you know her as Haley. Haley is graduating from our dental hygiene program today. She is a mature graduate who consistently puts the needs of patients before her own, even while she's been enrolled in this busy dental hygiene program. One of her faculty members relayed a story to me about Haley, which exemplifies her maturity and her altruism. You see, one of Haley's patients was diagnosed with breast cancer. As we all know, with cancer comes a myriad of treatments and sometimes even surgery. Haley went out of her way to rearrange her personal schedule to accommodate her patient's complex medical schedule and needs so that her patient was able to receive proper dental care that she needed. Haley works now as a marketing director and is also the mother of 2 children. Join me in welcoming Haley Dameron to the podium. I'm so sorry, I don't need to make you cry.
Thank you.
I'm not going to cry today. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Haley Dameron. I'm will be graduating with the dental hygiene program this evening. I'm honored to be standing before you today to speak on behalf of the graduating class of 2015. Today's the day that we've all been preparing for. All the long days and nights have finally paid off. As I look out into the crowd, I see the many faces of family, friends, and loved ones. You are the very people that have been there for us, to support us, encourage us, in helping us fulfill our dreams as becoming dental hygienists and nurses. As I look back over the past 2 years, I think of all the firsts that we have been through together. The first day of class, the first quiz or test. It seems like in our first semester we had one every other day. Our first day in clinic, our first skill evaluation in clinic, and the list goes on. Throughout our first, we've been there for one another. We've carried each other through our lows, and we've celebrated in our highs. One of the things that sticks out the most to me is I would always tell my classmates everything was going to be okay. Little did they know, I didn't know if it was going to be okay. But I knew ultimately in the end it would all work out. At this time, I'd like to thank our instructors. Without you, we would not be here today. Thank you for pushing us through and for helping us see the bigger picture when it was not so clear, for allowing us to have our breakdowns, and for giving us tough love to help us endure the rigors involved in our respective programs. We have learned valuable lessons from each and every one of you, and I have full confidence that we are prepared for what is to come. And I speak for all of us. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. We are fortunate to be in the future of healthcare. We've been given the tools and we've gained the knowledge to be the best providers to our patients. While some of us will be hygienists and others nurses, we all have a common goal, and that goal is to work together to ensure optimal health for our patients. We are so fortunate to be entering a profession that has an opportunity to make a difference in someone's life on a daily basis. It is important that our patients feel our passion for our profession. Our patients will look to us for empathy and knowledge. They will expect us to be professional, thorough, and respectful. And most importantly, our patients want us to be forthright in order to help them make the best decisions regarding their overall health. And we need to remember that communication is key. There are many avenues to explore with our degree in healthcare. Not only can we be clinicians, we can work in education, research, health, sales, or marketing. Our opportunities are endless. Wherever life takes us, I'm confident that we will be an asset to any team. Now we have one more first to look forward to together, the first day of the rest of our lives. As we re-enter the real world in our new careers, I wish you all the very best. We certainly have a lot to be proud of. We have done our very best, and it's paid off. And one last thing, remember, it's always going to be okay, and it'll work out in the end.
Haley, thank you for your comments. And we are glad that everything worked out great for you and your colleagues and not just okay. We will now begin our penning ceremony. Will Misty Messimer please come to the podium at this time to pen the dental hygiene graduates?
Kara Cedar. Haley Dameron. Ashley Dowell. Amanda Eastman. Katie Kelly. Shelby Philpott. Dia Stevens.
In my practice as a dental hygienist, I affirm my personal and professional commitment to improve the oral health of the public, to advance the art and science of dental hygiene, and to promote high standards of quality care. I pledge continually to improve my professional knowledge and skills, to render a full measure of service to each patient entrusted to my care, and to uphold the highest standards of professional competence and personal conduct in the interests of the dental hygiene profession and the public it serves.
Will Ms. Betty Brooks and Ms. Lori Rice please come to the stage at this time to print our nursing assistant graduates?
Candace Bailey. William Fox. Michaela Griffin. David Hitchens. Margie Perkins. Keena Shanklin. Mary E. Smith.
Will Ms. Christine Greer and Ms. Debbie Van Nortwick please come to the stage at this time to pin our practical nursing graduates?
Brenda Aviananda. Tyler Baker. Kendall Calamos. Alexis Carter. Matthew Cody Douglas. Beverly Foltz. Kristen Goff. Brittany Grenier. Laurie Holler. Leslie Highlander. Martha Jackson. Crystal Knight. Carrington Kovacs. Chantel Mullen. Chelsea Pullen. Linda Wilson. Sharon Warman.
Will Ms. Janelle Jacobs and Ms. April Morgan please come to the stage at this time to pin our registered nursing graduates?
Bridget Austin. Rachel Christina Owan. Jennifer Baggett. Lindsay Broniak. Nathan Cass. Jessica Lauren Charrier. Heather Flavin. Brittany Fleming. Lauren Jessica Gaither. Belle Elizabeth Goodwin. Lindsay Nicole Howerton. Kayla Dawn Kaufman. Karen Kennison. Stacy Locklear. Jennifer Lovell. Renee Danielle Mahan. Amber Markey. Ashley Miller. Jessica Moats. Karen Morrow. David Morton. Hector Nunez. Tamara Peglo. Shelby Prokop. Ebdi Sumray. Andrea Rumsey. Lisa Marie Santiago. Heather Satterley. Shelley Shinkus. Marissa Settle. Delphine Shea. Rebecca Squires. Rebecca Stone. Kimberly Sykes. Sean Thompson. Candace Tulloch. Corbin Vickery. Missy Walker. Melissa Ariadne Zukowski.
I'd like to call Miss Martha Turner to the podium to prepare for the candle lighting ceremony.
At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Lauren Gaither and Ms. Renee Mahan, presidents of the RN class, and Crystal Knight, president of the LPN class, to join me on stage. At this time, I'd like to invite all nurses in the audience to stand and join with our new graduates in reciting the International Nurses Pledge found in your program. In the full knowledge of the obligations I am undertaking, I promise to care for the sick with all the skill and understanding I possess, without regard to race, creed, color, politics, or social status, sparing no effort to conserve life, to alleviate suffering, and promote health. I will respect at all times the dignity and religious beliefs of the patients under my care, holding in confidence all personal information entrusted to me and refraining from any action which might endanger life or health. I will endeavor to keep my professional knowledge and skill at the highest level and to give loyal support and cooperation to all members of the health team. I will do my utmost to honor the International Code of Ethics applied to nursing and to uphold the integrity of the nurse. Graduates, you may extinguish your candles and be seated.
Thank you for attending our pinning ceremony. We are so glad that you are here to celebrate the graduates' accomplishments with us. We encourage you to come back this evening to celebrate your official graduation. Graduates, many of you have board examinations before you. Research has shown that if you'll complete 100 NCLEX-style questions per night until you take your board exam, that your chances of success are dramatically improved. So here's your last homework assignment from Germanna. Complete 100 NCLEX questions each night. Invest in yourself and invest in your future. Families, I expect you to hold them accountable to this promise that they made me earlier today. They all raised their hands. They wanted to pass on the first try and that they would do the 100 questions a night. So hold them accountable for me, please. Again, I am so happy for each one of you, and I cannot wait to hear the wonderful stories of where your professional careers lead you. Congratulations on your success. This concludes our ceremony. Please allow the podium party, the faculty, and special guests and graduates to exit first. Let the celebration begin.